Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to First and Ted. This is Aaron, 49ers First Takes, and I'm Ted at Ted Talks Ball. And together, like I said, we're First and Ted every Wednesday, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. Aaron, how are you doing on this fine Victory Wednesday, Hump Day?
I took my little pre-stream nap here and threw me all sorts off.
I was wondering.
So yeah, my phone's not with me as it's a distraction when I stream. So I felt like I would go without it. I have a new shirt, another
Nice.
49er shirt. I have like 7,000. I just emptied out. I had dressers full of old shirts. Threw them all out. So now I have and now everything I have is like brand new or close to new. But yeah, pretty interesting. Interesting week of 49er talk because, as we all know, it's probably the biggest game of the year for us as far as playing a team that could be a Super Bowl contender. You know what I mean? And we might see them down the road. So yeah, it's a big deal. I think we're all screwing with our cameras here.
Yeah, it was my light. I noticed it was a little bit cockamamie, so I thought I'd straighten it out a little. Yeah, lots to talk about. We'll get to all that. Let's start off with the chat. It's popping already. Got Renee Cruz. So let's go Die Hard Faithful. We got Red Jet Shell in the house saying hi, chat. Got Fernando, 49ers Throwback. It's been so helpful publicizing our shows. Thank you, Fernando. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's a good reminder that we're streaming to both channels. So if you're on Ted Talks Ball, make sure you get over to 49ers First Takes. Give Aaron a like and subscribe. Same thing if you're on Aaron's channel, make sure you get over and give me a like and subscribe. Yeah. If you're watching on a browser, make sure to open up two tabs. You can watch both shows at once and give us all those view hours, which are so important to help keep us going. And in fact, I'm just taking my own advice and opening up a tab with Aaron's show in it here.
Same.
And just make sure you mute one, otherwise it gets a little confusing with the echo.
Yep.
So it's what else we got? Raphael saying, "What up, Aaron, Ted, and everyone?" Not much, Raphael. Better now that you're here. It would be like Raphael if he didn't say hit like and subscribe right after his initial comment. It says Mr. Purdy, stock up, absolutely, and we'll get to that for sure. So what he's saying, what's up? He kind of repeated himself there. Okay, he's on a loop here, so I'm going to skip your repeat comments, Raphael. I hope you don't get offended. Saying it's up to Red Jet. Everybody's just saying hi. We got David McNiner in the house and LFG 49ers. Let's go, McNiner. Bryant Culp in the house. He gave me a referral for a Ravens content creator. I am in communications, but he sounds like he's awfully busy, Bryant. And also, wasn't just Bryant who referred him. It was also Ryan from No Border Sports. Is Darwin's Raven, but it sounds like he's like done a show and he's got, what did he say? A bunch this week. He said just did one, got one tomorrow night. Okay, so I guess I'll be this third. But that's good. At least some of the Ravens content creators are getting out there because I had a few say that they were interested, but then they haven't got back to me about a time. One seems like it might happen for tomorrow. So he's confirming that I could go until 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And so hopefully that'll work for him.
It's funny. I haven't done cross streams with any type of content creator in quite a long time.
You mean opposing fan base content creator?
Yeah,
behind enemy lines, I like to call him. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights in the house. Check out his channel. Jimmy Perez in the house. Jets able to see the show by Instagram. That's pretty cool. So, Aaron, you're streaming to Insta then, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying it out. I'm trying the Instagram stream. If you're on Instagram, come over and watch on
YouTube.
Watch YouTube.
That
watch
really
on Ted's
us.
Channel. Watch on my channel.
That's why I hesitated to do the Instagram thing because I know how people are. Once you're watching, most people aren't gonna, unless they want to comment, because you probably can't comment from Insta. And then we were noticing the other day on our streams that when people were joining from Twitter and X, it kept saying joined when they would join. as if they were chatting, but joined in chat, but they weren't really in the chat.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. I'd never seen
Yeah,
that.
I didn't kick it to Twitter today. I decided to kick it to Instagram.
I've got it on Twitter. You got it on Insta.
So,
like I said, people tend to, wherever you turn something on, people tend to keep watching it there.
right.
So that's why I haven't done it to Insta yet, because I want as many people on YouTube as possible. But maybe it'll help drive traffic. Who knows? It's always good.
How do I sound, by the way? How does I sound, chat?
Sound groovy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would have told you if you were not sounding good. I wouldn't have gone live. Small town reviews in the house.
What's up, small town?
Niners, MV Purdy. Yeah, that was my title from yesterday.
That's right. If he has a great game, this game is huge. If he has a good game against Lamar, I think he's the MVP. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't have a good game against Lamar, if we lose to the Ravens, then it'd be hard to give it to him, I think.
Totally.
Especially considering how few weapons Lamar has. But, he has a big contract, too.
I listened to that. I listened to their content, or I listened to an interview with them on KNBR from this morning with Tracy Sandler and Marcus Thompson, I think it is. And they seem like they have a pretty good offense. There's just not of names that we know about. So, yeah, I really think that I don't know a lot of the players on the Baltimore Ravens. All I know is that they have a really good defense and enough offense to scare some teams. I guess we'll talk about it all. I don't have a ton of crazy takes on the Ravens, other than I think this is the Niners' hardest game of the year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we thought it was going to be the Cowboys, then we thought it was going to be the Eagles. Now it looks like it'll be the Ravens. Hopefully next week we'll be chatting and we'll be like, boy, all these games we thought were tough weren't tough. But yeah, Ravens D is legit. I've been saying all along that RD might be better statistically, but I'm not sure that it's actually better. If we aren't the best D, then it probably is the Ravens D. Browns D is up there when they're healthy, but they're not very healthy. But yeah, I mean, they got Jadeveon Clowney. They got Justin Madubuike, who's a defensive tackle who is taken well after Javon Kinlaw, who's had probably a little bit better career. They've got Kyle Van Noy, the former Patriot, Roquan Smith, one of the best inside linebackers in the NFL, right there with Fred Warner. Patrick Queen, a young linebacker who's coming up fast. Adafe Owe, who I think when he was drafted was Jason Owe. He's an edge player, outside linebacker. So yeah, they got Geno Stone's pretty good safety, but they've got they had that kid they had just drafted, but it looks like he's injured because I don't even see him listed on there. I'm blanking on his name right now. They got Marlon Humphrey, who's one of the best cornerbacks, and Brandon Stevens.
The Ravens lead the NFL in sacks too, but they don't have what you would consider an all-star studded defensive line. They just come from everywhere. So when they do that, it kind of makes it hard for teams to kind of like zero in on where the blitz is coming from. So that's a concern for me, considering the Niners offensive line, other than the left side, is pretty mid. So this is going to be an important game for and they're really good against motion. That's another thing. They are one of the best teams on defense against motion, and that's pretty much what our deal is too. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see if the 49ers can kind of give the Ravens a little bit of a yokadoke, or what do they call okadoke, where they think they're seeing one thing and they're going to see another, because it's really pertinent for them to come out and kind of confuse them, because they get after the quarterback a ton, and we don't. Our offensive line, to me, like I said, without Aaron Banks and Trent Williams, are two of the best, I think, in the league together. But from center to tackle to the other side, it's a very questionable. I will say, though, I'm a big fan of Feliciano. I think Feliciano has played really well. I wouldn't be surprised if Spencer Burford doesn't get his spot back. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, I've been saying in my articles for weeks that I feel like the line is stronger with Feliciano than with Burford. I mean, maybe he's up there with Banks even. He's playing really well. He was the highest graded offensive player this last week for PFF, not just offensive line, highest graded offensive player last week. So yeah, and I feel like McKivitz has quietly been doing pretty well in pass protection. He's obviously not a great run blocker, but neither is Brendel, and we seem to be doing okay.
Right.
Just running to the left side. So yeah, I like Feliciano. I'd like to see more. I still think we should platoon the two of them to keep Burford developing. But yeah, maybe do more.
How much development? How much development does somebody need, though? I mean, he's almost played 2 full seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 3-4 seasons to get your man body on the O line or D line. D tackles take a lot of years to develop. I think, guards, tackles can take. I mean, look at McKivitz. It's taken quite a few years to develop too. So, 3-4 years, I would say, before you start to worry that they're not progressing. But yeah. Oh boy, the chat's going crazy. Let me start working my way up from the bottom. Laura Cat in the house. And,
hello, Laura. How are you?
And yeah, Carcast is in the house. Check out his channel too. We got Charles Drake says, "Hey Ted, tell her he loves KC."
You know it.
Neither of us love KC, that's for sure. Although I think the Eagles have displaced KC as a more hated team, especially now that KC's struggling some.
I still hate Seattle. As long as they have the coach, as long as he's still there, the hatred. I hate him as coach. Hate with a capital H. He still hasn't got hit with an errant sideline pass in the side of the face. That's all I ever wanted. I've told my brother a million times, somebody needs to freaking just whip that thing over there. Knock the gum right out of his mouth, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm really disappointed.
Now it pained me to have to root for the Seahawks, but they won. So
Aaron plays original Tendo.
I like the way a lot of people were phrasing it. Was like, we're not so much rooting for the Seahawks as rooting against the Eagles,
right?
And it was just a one-time thing, and it worked. And I rooted for the Bills, and that worked. I didn't think they could pull it off against the Cowboys. They sure did. They ran it down their throats. It's pretty awesome. I got Rin Jin in the house, and let's go 49.
Jin. What's going on, man? Appreciate it.
And then
Carcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through, Carcast. Much appreciated, my brother.
West Coast of Canada. I wonder if that's
hello
BC.
From the West Coast. Holy crap, that's crazy.
Yeah, it could be British Columbia. I mean, it could be not Toronto. What is the town up there called? Totally blanking. Great. Vancouver. There we go. It'll come to me eventually.
Oh, my better half is in the chat. They just joined.
Oh, who's that?
Jupiter Size.
Welcome, Jupiter Size.
She's not feeling great today. So everybody, if you could send your good vibes and juju towards her. Tummy's bothering her. She's
not good with the rain and cold. Haha. Well, it's been pretty nice here. And it rained hard and I didn't lose my power. Like, what are the odds of that, man?
When I lived in a different part of Rochester, every time it would storm, the power would go out. I live in this like townhouse complex. Since I moved out to where I am now, it'll flicker like crazy, but it never goes out. So, because there's some old wiring that's in this house. Now, this is a house from the 60s. So, like, anytime there's a little bit of something, it's like little like Stranger Things when Will's trying to contact the mom through the upside down and makes the lights flicker. Kind of what's going on here. For anybody that watches that.
Poltergeist.
Somebody say, are y'all married? Wait, no.
Aaron is not. I am. Laura Cat was saying it's pouring, windy, crazy like here in the Bay Area. It's interesting the way the storm is coming up. Like if this is the peninsula here, the storm is like going up like this through the East Bay, but it's like largely missing the peninsula. We definitely got some rain, but like not a lot. Like it's been pretty mellow here today. So it's interesting when usually everything hits us first and then goes right through to the East Bay and pounds the East Bay after us. But this is one of those weird times where it hit the East Bay without hitting us, or largely. So sorry to gloat. I actually had a chance to even get out and run the cars a little bit, the RC cars a little bit today. But let's see here.
Good old RC car.
Oh, yeah.
So I figure we maybe get into kind of the big news right now, talking about the lack of defensive tackle depth that we have.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to like lead your show. I'm sorry.
It's our show, so go ahead.
Our show. Well, okay. So everybody knows that Armstead was out.
Sorry.
Hello, Tony. She's the better half of Brian and her. Yeah. The women are always the better half. The men are always like
the Soto in the
house. As everybody knows, Armstead was injured last week, didn't play. Javon Hargrave was not injured. He did not play. The Niners just lost Kalia Davis essentially for the rest of the season, or less, maybe the rest of the regular season, with an injury to his ankle. So the Niners are essentially down right now to T.Y. McGill and Javon Kinlaw as their defensive tackles. So my question to Ted, it was brought up and Kyle Shanahan kind of dismissed it. He was in for a visit with the Dolphins. If you're the 49ers, do you make a run at someone like Ndamukong Suh and just bring him in here just because of what's going on? Or do you think the Niners know more and they know maybe that the health of the other two are getting close to coming back?
I mean, I wanted Suh last year when the Eagles got him. They got Suh and they got that other old Vikings, Dalvin Tomlinson or somebody like that. So I wanted both of those guys back then. I just wonder about the character risk side of Ndamukong Suh, if that weighs heavily on John Lynch and or Kyle Shanahan, because he's clearly had his issues with stomping, and he's just multiple times has proven to be sort of a bad actor a little bit. But, you got to have the horses to win these games, and you got to have defensive tackles to stop the running game. We got trampled last week by the Cards.
Bad, very bad, really bad. I was very, very, very angry watching that last week.
And the Ravens are a better running team. Whether they have the horses themselves at running back is another question, but it's a concern.
Peter Parker in the chat says, I think this locker room can handle previous character flaws like Suh. I 100% agree. Because if he doesn't, they cut him. It's not like they're going to keep him around. They can give him a 1-year deal, and if he is not going to fall in line with the rest of the other men that are on this team and in this locker room, he's gone. It's to me, it's actually a low risk, high reward, because he. I'm not expecting him to come in and be like the guy that, that came into the NFL all those years ago, but just to have a guy who's a veteran who can essentially come in a pinch and start in a pinch, and is talented enough to not be completely just out of place and, just ran the hell over. I'd really rather them not sign anybody and, hopefully, the other two defensive tackles, Armstead and Hargrave, come back. But you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to fill some holes. Pause. Woo. And they got to, make the move if they have to.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a difficult decision to make. Glad I don't have to. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm more in favor of it than not. Like I said, just because you got to have the horses. You got to keep Fred and Dre clean so that they can tackle the running backs effectively. Imagine being asshole group, a core group visits your locker room. I think Sue will keep it together. Oh, well. Never know. That's the big risk. Kenny 49er Culp. Is this a Bryant burner account? Hey, you can wind up getting super unfortunate penalty force at a very important moment. That's would be my concern with the Ndamukong Suh.
Right. No, that's a fair concern, and I think about that too. And that's why I say I'd rather them just be healthy in house and figure out a way to, just make it through these last couple games to get to that hopefully home field advantage bye week and get everybody healthy coming back. We got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold podcast. Would it be a good time to start talking quarterback rankings?
I think Jess is here in the Bay Area too. Jess, I saw her traveling on Twitter and X. So
Jess meets everybody.
She must be here.
She meets all the cool people.
I might have to make a trek down to Santa Clara on Friday or Saturday night. See if I can help her stock all the players and coaches like she does so well. Make sure you check out her show, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Brian Culp is saying, hey, Kenny, Jess, Laura. Kenny, where do you go? Oh, we got Ryan from No Border Sports in the house saying, what up, everyone? What up, Ryan? Shardal Gupta in the house, SG Sports Talk. Check out his channel. Make sure to check out Ryan's channel too, No Border Sports. Give him a like and subscribe. Same thing with Shardal. The bad run defense hurts Dre and Fred, having to literally be on line of scrimmage constantly. Yeah. And having offensive linemen coming unblocked.
They were having a hard time on Sunday. They were having a hard time tackling. They were having a hard time with angles. They were over pursuing. It was all sorts of bad. Like the missed tackles to me are the biggest concern, because you could have, all the big time defensive linemen in the world, but if your linebackers are missing tackles and safeties are missing tackles and your corners are missing tackles, then they've got to figure out a way to wrap up. There's been talk that maybe they're tired and people are dragging ass right now. And it's like, everybody's tired in the league, dude. Like, I really don't like hearing excuses for poor play. You got to figure out a way to get it done. They got a chance, if they win 2 out of the last 3 games, to have time off. Essentially, if you think about it, Ted, if they win 2 out of the next 3, the last game of the season, what do? Do you sit starters and have a 2-week vacation? Do you play starters for a quarter? Like what would be your your way of going about that? Because you don't want to be rusty going into the playoffs if you have a 2 weeks off before you play anybody. But at the same time, somebody gets hurt in a meaningless game where you have no reason to play anybody. That would be insane, and you would never hear the end of it, especially if it cost them a chance at a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I heard some interesting ideas on it during another show. One was, if you're dinged up, then rest those people that are dinged up. Another one was treat it more like a preseason game, play the starters for the first half and not the second half. That way you avoid the rust aspect of things, because there's always that question of rest versus rust, even with 1 week off, let alone if you take 2 weeks off, you're much more likely to be rusty when you come back. So I like some sort of, smattering of those things. I don't think Kyle will do any of it. I don't think he's a rest guy, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. It'd be nice for sure. Tommy, Skip Bayless not trolling here anymore. He knows the cow tricks are frauds.
Of course they're frauds. Of course they're frauds.
Did anybody really think that was really
one
Skip
good
Bayless
team
on my show?
They've beaten one good team all year, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was a division rival. We always know division games. I mean, look at last week. We gave up 29 points to the Cardinals. Over 200 yards rushing. Like, what was that, right?
Yeah.
But it happens. Division games are weird. And the Cardinals have played us tough both times they played us. So, wasn't really super surprised that they beat the Eagles. What surprises me is who they are at home and who they are on the road is insane. They're so bad on the road. Dak plays so poorly on the road. Like it's all this talk about Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa and that, Micah Parsons is better. I don't think so. I mean, they run right at him when you play him, and he has no answers. So, Cowboys. I'm not saying that they couldn't beat us if they played us the third time, but I just don't see it, especially if we're at home. I just think that place would be rocking, and I just feel like their quarterback would come up with a really shaky performance because he would be expected to come in on the road and essentially like right the wrongs of all the previous years. And I just don't think Dak Prescott has it in him to do that. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it.
There you go. Alberto Soto had a interesting idea.
No,
I mean, JJ Watt's not a prototypical defensive tackle. He's more of an end, but hey, I think he'd probably fill in pretty well. He's a big enough guy.
I'm okay with that not happening. I just no point. I mean, he hasn't practiced. He hasn't done any football stuff since the end of last season. So, I mean, like, how long would it take him to get into shape? Till the Super Bowl if we make it, I understand, like, hey, bring them all in kind of mindset, get everybody a ring, but I just don't see that happening.
There you go. Raphael's saying happy birthday, Jess's mom. I guess it's Jess's mom's birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, our Laura Cat was saying that too. Must be true then. If we got double confirmation. Hey, Peter Parker saying this is the most I've seen us miss tackles. They've been missing tackles all year.
All year.
This ain't being tired to see. Issue. Yeah.
Agreed, Peter. Agreed. I don't want to hear that because it came up in an interview where I think it was even John Lynch they asked him. It was a KNBR interview, and they're like, "Is it a tired thing?" And I'm thinking, don't even play into that and say it's a tired thing that they're missing tackles because they're tired. That's just garbage. You got to be, but they've been doing it all year. You know what I mean? Like you said. So,
Jess says no resting. Jupiter Size agrees with Peter Parker.
If you join in on Instagram and you see this on Instagram, come over to YouTube.
Tommy say F all the channels. Limit snaps.
F them all.
F them all. Like God's sort about. So Ted, you're most concerned about the game is containing Lamar. Yeah, containing Lamar in their running game. I mean, Lamar is a great runner, and they have some rookie named Keaton, I think, who's supposed to be pretty good. I think 49ers edits was saying that he wanted to draft him in his fantasy league or something. Wasn't able to. Oh, also, that reminds me, someone was saying hi to Silly Fungi in the house, and he, of course, dropped a dad joke, but see if I can get back to it without.
Yeah, Bashar that just joined in. Welcome, Bashar. Tommy Huxley says that the Niners.
I remember the joke, so even if I can't find it, I can say it. The joke was, how do you make 7 even? You take away the S.
Wow. Even I think that's pretty lame. I've seen better from Silly Fun Guys. So
he's definitely had some good ones. So everybody's just saying hi. Cardinals gave Dallas a L. Yeah, but the Cowboys were missing 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen for that game, and now their O-line is playing a lot better. Although I guess maybe not against the Bills when they didn't score a touchdown.
Good thing we have Brock Purdy as our quarterback.
Yeah, that's big. Did you see that? Obviously Brock said CMC should be MVP, and CMC said Brock should be MVP. Maybe Kittle is the tiebreaker because he says CMC. I saw that on the.
I would. Joy, you know what?
Taylor was.
I wouldn't care who it was either way. I just want them to win a Super Bowl this year, and I know everybody who watches any channel on YouTube agrees that I could care less who's the most valuable player. I just want them to see, or I want to see them hosting that trophy in February. That's all that matters to me.
So you were talking about there's Bashar. We are here. What, all your different personalities, Bash? Is there? Me, myself, and I. You were talking about the rankings for Purdy. Kurt Benkert has him at number 1 this week. I had him close to that. I had him at 2 through 5. And somebody asked me, well, who's ahead of him? I said, mostly guys that have, bigger bodies of work, ultimately.
I'm going based on this year, though. I'm not going based on past work. This is MVP is a season award. It's not a career award.
Oh, I know, but I'm just ranking top quarterbacks as I see them. And that's definitely body of work.
Right now, he's at a tie for one. To me, he's a tie at first. It's between him and it's between Lamar Jackson. And
not even Mahomes. Wow.
No, Mahomes is not having a good year, and he's a freaking petulant little bitch. And he used to be one of my favorite guys, but he's just getting on my nerves. Brock, or 49ers Throwback, brought up something to me that I posted a video, and it was Jerry Rice talking. I forget who he's talking to.
About Brock reminding him of Montana.
Brock reminds him of Montana. He didn't really go into specifics other than he talked about cool, calm, collected. And I've said that earlier this year when we've talked.
Is that the same Jerry Rice who said Jimmy G reminded him of Tom Brady?
The same one. Jerry, I don't know, but Jerry's the GOAT, man. Like whatever he says,
he's the
like
GOAT
whatever.
Player. He's not the GOAT analyst.
No, he's a horrible analyst because he doesn't really give you any insight.
And that's great. I love him. God bless him.
But I love Jerry. Every time he comes out with the rings, I want to go to a game just so I could see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should. Chardall says, hey, Ted, are you doing a post-game show after the Ravens game? Probably not, because I'll be just getting over to the islands when the game starts, and we'll be like renting cars and getting groceries and getting checked in. So I will almost certainly not see the game live, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to do a replay. Probably using Xfinity on my laptop or something. I don't know. We'll see. But ultimately, and I probably won't have a lot of shows next week or all the way through to the 4th of January. Maybe Aaron and I streamed before from over there, but it's hard because I can't commit to anything far in advance because if my wife says, hey, we're going whale watching, or you got to watch the kids, or she's going to go do something,
right.
I could have to cancel, but I'm sure I'll get some of my regular shows like Aaron and Ryan and Bash if they're available. I'm sure I can find at least one of those days to stream with them.
Yeah, it's fine with me, dude. Go enjoy your vacation with your wife and kids. Or kid. Soon to be kids.
These are big streams. Ravens O-line isn't that good, but safeties and linebackers are good, like the Browns. Kyle Hamilton, that's the guy's name. It's funny because he's not on the depth chart, and then I couldn't even find him on injured reserve. So where the hell is he? Like, they didn't cut him. Or maybe I just didn't. No, he's not. I don't see him anywhere on that team. That's so weird. But he was a very highly drafted safety for the Ravens. And then they have this Geno Stone, who's
SG Sports Talk. Can I come on the show? I don't know who you are.
It's Shardal Gupta.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
He's been on with Grant. He's very entertaining.
Yeah, I don't know him that much or at all.
Definitely very interesting character for sure. Fernando says you rewatched the 49ers Ravens Super Bowl.
Why?
Yeah, that's his pain.
Why? Why would you put yourself through that suffering to watch that Super Bowl, Throwback? Why would you do that? That's like going and watching the Chiefs one over again and going to 7 minutes and seeing 49ers up 10, and then you rewind it 7 minutes later and the Niners lost by 11? So something like that. So please, why do that to yourself? Why?
The chat's getting spicy. I'm going to leave that one alone. Bash is saying hi to Shardall. He says he's not working on Chris. Shardall works at Great America. So, yeah, that'll be interesting if Great America's open on a game day. That would be pretty wild. Jerry Rice, Brock Purdy wins it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the talk. I mean, do you see similarities as far as the calm, cool, collected part of Brock's game? Brock doesn't ever
Yeah,
seem
I
to get
see.
too rattled.
I mean, I see similarities in that neither one was like a physical specimen. They both make great
Right.
decisions. They both throw very catchable balls, nice spirals, even if they're not like lasers. They typically can get to where they need to be,
They can move in the pocket.
move in the pocket.
They can make secondary throws. They don't always have to make the throw that's designed.
I just said for the Montana thing, I want to see more comebacks.
True.
And then somebody
No.
said, well, he came back from the UCL. I'm like, that's not what I meant. I meant within game.
That's pretty good.
Well, and then he brought up Trey Lance in there too. And then I was like, or he said, somebody said that he should be benched for someone else. And I'm like, I didn't say that.
Trey Lance.
I'm just blocking people who say stupid
shit. Anything about Trey Lance at this point is just trolling.
They are. And like,
Trey Lance is probably never going to.
I said, let's have a fair and open competition. That's what I said. I didn't say, I said it'd be very difficult, in fact, to put Trey Lance in with what Brock Purdy did last season. So
Trey Lance, to me, that situation, to me, he's probably never going to start again in the NFL. So all the people that early in the year, Brock was struggling, and we have some dope put a freaking picture of him and saying he needs to come back. They need to retrade for him. Like, really? He's a third string quarterback on the Dallas Cowboys who's never going to see the field this year because he came in late. And essentially, he's probably never going to start in the NFL. Brock Purdy is better than him every day of the week, plus twice on Sunday. Sorry that hurts people's feelings, but that's just the way it is. He's not good enough. He can't play. He doesn't know how to read the field quickly. He's erratic. He's inaccurate. He's not even really that fast. If you look at him, like he was mobile in the pocket. When it comes to like elite end speed, it's kind of slow. So the Niners, I think, got what it is the Niners sold, I guess they sold themselves on a bag of goods that ended up not working out. They made the decision. Listen, they made a decision way back in March when they brought in Sam Darnold as the backup. You knew his days were numbered, and he's gone, and he's probably not ever going to play in the NFL unless he's, spot starting for an injured player, and people need to just let go. It's over. He's not good. He's athletic. He's a nice guy, has a great arm. He can throw real far, but he lacks all the intangibles that a great player needs to have, and in most of it's up here. That's what makes Brock Purdy better. Because Brock is small, undersized, doesn't have big hands. He looks like a child playing quarterback. My mom said it before. He looks like a little boy. He does, but he's damn good. And that's it. And this is the best their offense has ever played in the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era since they came here in 2017. The Niners have never been an offensive juggernaut until he started playing quarterback. People were like, well, he's got a lot of weapons. Yeah, but he knows how to use them. Jimmy didn't. So just it is what it is. And people can't accept the fact that he just didn't work out. It's over. That's it. It's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a this thing. It's not a that thing. It's just he wasn't good. Sorry. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, mine is that he's TBD. We didn't get to see him with CMC, and we'll see.
He's never going to be with CMC though.
People are like, oh, you were wrong about Brock Purdy. I'm like, I wasn't at the time. He has improved his game, especially his deep game this season, to a point where, yeah, I'll say that what I said then is wrong now, but it wasn't wrong then.
Opinions can change. People can have opinions, and they can change. Not
on Twitter X. People are just like, you love Trey Lance. I'm like, I stopped rooting for him as soon as he became a Cowboy. Got Joe Mahoney in the house, Niner Joe in the house. The F is Trey Lance per his MVP, and there isn't even a close second. I think CMC is the MVP personally, but go ahead. And I do think that Lamar is a close second, and if he wins, I think Lamar will win the MVP. Got Hoagie 8 in the house saying Ravens Mitchell got injured, so I guess Keaton Mitchell, who I referenced earlier, is actually out with an ACL.
I know their starting running back's gone for the year. So they're going to be a little bit
It
struggling
sounds
in
like
that
2 or
part.
3 of them are. I saw that they elevated Melvin Gordon,
Saw that.
the former Bronco who had fumbling issues. Joseph was saying Purdy MVP. It's definitely gaining steam. There's no doubt about that.
Jess. I freaking love Jess. Eye roll. I love you, Jess. You're great. Jess, you need to bring. I want to see that. Like when I watch the channel, you're so nice. I want to see the spice, man. I told this to Ted too. When me and Ted first started, I said I want to see the spice that I see on YouTube or on Twitter come out in the freaking on YouTube. And Ted became extremely spicy, especially in the early stages of the Brock Purdy Trey Lance thing. And that I'm telling you, it's you got, I mean, freaking you had Larry Krueger freaking trying to come at you for your takes. So that's really, dude, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? If Larry Krueger is wasting time tweeting or making a video about Ted, that's exactly why it's like you let that stuff out. And if it comes off like you're, you know, whatever in a certain mood or you have a certain mindset or you're pissed off, like good, that's good. That's part of the whole YouTube thing.
There you
So
go.
Yeah. Sorry.
Renee Cruz says $850 for Levi's championship game ticks box office. Yikes, that's expensive. Only going to go up though. Probably a good investment. Rick Diaz says, I have a friend that has a cousin that used to play with the 49ers. His name is Barbara Parrish, number 77 in the 80s. I didn't believe him, but it's true. Bubba Parrish. Bubba Paris. Not Barbara
Bubba Paris. He was
Bubba
one
Paris.
big offensive tackle.
Indeed. Justice says, Lamar is trash.
No,
he's not close to 29 TDs. Or not close. Purdy has 29 TDs. Lamar is 17. Not close.
Jim Mahoney, though, he can move and run like nobody else can.
Yeah, and Lamar had one elite weapon named Mark Andrews, who's been gone for a few weeks. He's done for the season. So, like, if you're going to Kittle's better than Mark Andrews. They don't have a Debo. They don't have an Ayuk. They don't have a Kittle. They don't have a CMC.
You can't penalize. You can't penalize quarterbacks for not having weapons, man. That's so lame. It's so lame. It's such a bad argument.
These guys, when they get paid, same thing. You know, Mahomes only has Kelsey. Josh Allen only has Stephon Diggs. It just, you know, when Brock Purdy only has one elite weapon in a few years, we'll see how he does. I think he'll.
But we're not. But we're talking about. Well. We're talking about.
I don't think he'll do quite as well. Call me crazy.
But he might be the quarterback that's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. Who knows how to control all those weapons, and he knows how to take care of things, and he's calm and cool and collected, and he plays well. And it's just getting harder and harder for me to. I mean, you can't penalize people for having weapons, man. Peyton Manning had weapons when he was playing good. When the Super Bowl was won by the Chiefs, they had weapons, especially the first one. I mean, and look at them now. You're right. It's harder to win without a freaking litany of players. But I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm penalizing Brock for having the Niners who have built this amazing roster. Who can
penalizing Brock? I'm elevating the guys who do more with less.
I agree with you about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can do things with his legs that Purdy could never do. He's that type of quarterback. It's just what it is. He's an athletic specimen. I still think sometimes he lacks in the passing game. I mean, there's ways to attack. There's ways to attack him. For instance, I was listening today. I try to listen and get info on other teams. They had a guy who covers the Baltimore Ravens on KNBR, and he said that the one thing you can do to get after Lamar is to rush him from the middle, rush him up front. And he has issues with fumbling too. He's kind of a turnover machine. So if I'm the Niners, I'm playing a very similar game plan to what we did with Jalen Hurts. And I don't care how you do it, but you got to get pressure up the gut on this guy because he tends to hold on to the ball too long and he makes mistakes. The Niners got to play that kind of game. You can't go blowing your wad coming off one side or the other and missing like everybody else does, and then having him go around and go up the sideline for 35, 40 yards. I mean, you can't have that happen. They have to play better.
No, that's true. You got to mush rush. You got to have Bosa just bull rush until he gets to Lamar's depth and then wait there for help. And once you got him totally surrounded, then go for the sack. You got to maintain your edge integrity, your gap integrity. No spin moves, no, stunts. It's got to be very vanilla and very controlled and
I
very
called
much
it what, Ted? The mush rush? Mush rush?
mush rush. Yeah.
Mush rush.
Team effort and not going for individual stats.
It's not even about sacks when you mush rush. It's about pushing the pocket so that the quarterback has to escape out the back,
Right.
where they have to pull themselves away from the play. The Niners got to be really good in their coverage downfield. Really good in their coverage downfield. They have to play sticky freaking coverage.
There you go.
Can't have any blown assignments. You can't have guys running wide open. That's what they thrive on, the Ravens. That's what they thrive on. All these quarterbacks, this is the thing about some of these quarterbacks that bothers me, that, if all these guys that can move around really well, they have a playground element to their game where they essentially take a play that's supposed to last 6 seconds and it lasts for 15. And I don't care how good you are as a defensive back, you can't cover that long. It's not real football. I call it backyard ball. The Niners got to find a way to cut that crap out. You know what I mean? A 15-second play where the receiver's been running for 7 seconds. And oh, wow, look at that throw. Yeah, the guy's wide open. Wow, yeah, that's so. Like, do it from the pocket. Do it from the pocket. We kept talking about quarterbacks that can move and do all this stuff, but I think the sign of a great quarterback is a guy who can stand in the pocket, take the hit, and deliver an accurate, on-time, catchable ball that you can essentially turn upfield and score with, instead of always having to be some broken-ass play. To me, that's almost a weird way to judge a football player, that he constantly has to have a broken play to make plays. You know what I mean? We'll see.
Well, if he had weapons that could get open quickly, he could throw it sooner. So Kenny, 49er Culp, says, then CJ Stroud is MVP. Well, Joseph Mahoney said that it's CMC isn't a QB. MVP only goes to QBs.
Pretty much.
MVP also does not go to rookies. However, if it did, then CJ Stroud, I think, should have been in that conversation until he got his concussion and Tank Dell got injured and Nico Collins got injured. He lost some of his weapons. I think he'll probably be back this week, so that'll be interesting to see. But CJ Stroud might be a better quarterback than Brock Purdy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was also a first-round pick.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah. He was second overall. Yeah.
He is what the 49ers drafted Trey Lance to be. People can pee in their pajamas. They can be mad. They can say all a bunch of stuff. When you watch him as a quarterback, that's what the Niners pretty much sold us to what we were getting. That's a finished product, Trey Lance, who's accurate and can move and has a great arm, and he's a bigger guy. Yeah, him at his best, of course he would be. He's got elite traits. He's got elite size. He's got elite arm strength. He can move. But I want to see what he does in the playoffs under pressure. Just like I want to see what Brock's going to do. You can
the
have
Texans
all
even
those...
going to make the playoffs? I don't think they are now. They looked like they were going to squeak in when he was healthy and their weapons were healthy. Randy Daytona here to save me from myself. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it.
Randy Elite Daytona. I think I need to change my name to Aaron Elite or
It's
49
because
Elite.
He's been saying Purdy's elite for a long time, so he's proud. He was one of the early elite adopters. Sounding like Trent Williams is on the block. No, come on. No chance.
Sounding like Trent Williams on the block. What?
Ted, you're Titanicing. Sinking. Yikes. Is there an orchestra playing on the
Oh,
deck
I
there?
made Laura Cat laugh because I said pee in your pajamas. Like, That's a saying of like when you get really excited, you pee in your pajamas. Like, oh my God. That's what the Niners fans thought they were getting when they drafted Trey Lance, and all of us peed in our pajamas. We thought we were getting, the ultimate quarterback, the ultimate weapon with mobility and arm strength and size and all that. And none of that means crap if mentally you're weak. So
Yeah, just
if
Joe
you can't
Mahoney
win the
said,
game between the ears, it doesn't matter how talented you are.
Lamar Jackson ain't gonna do. Brock Purdy going for 350 and 5 TD. Jackson three interceptions.
I could see Jackson having two types of games. He either plays extremely well and the Niners just have a really hard time corralling him, or he's going to go straight nuclear and he nukes the freaking Ravens. And he has just like an awful, awful game where he just makes mistakes because he, look at the playoffs where he's lost. He's played, they were the number one seed a couple years ago. Was it 2019 or 2020? I forget. They were the number one seed and they lost in the divisional
game. They beat
game.
us in Baltimore in the rain.
Yeah, that was the game too. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo. Just like saying tits means cool or awesome.
Do you have a prediction for the game?
Yes. My prediction for the game is 49ers 27, Ravens 20. Niners start fast, cool off. Ravens make a push, but the Niners at the end are too much. And then the magic number will be down to 1, which means if the Niners go into the next game in Washington, they could essentially wrap it all up. So I think the Niners are going to beat the Ravens. Yes, I do.
I think the Niners are going to win too. I think it's going to be 27-24. I'm a little closer. A lot closer.
So Lorcat has a different explanation. When someone says tits, it meant bad. Well, from where the people I talk to, when somebody says, "Yo, that's freaking tits," that means it's like
good.
Awesome.
You're really good. Yeah, tits up is bad, like you're dead. I think, but tits by itself is, in my mind, that's a really good one for sure.
Well, it's good, and it's good in just the word itself and what it means from the normal way, and that it also means awesome. I mean, because never mind. I was going to say, who doesn't love him? I'm sorry. I had to say it. I'm sorry.
Joe Mahoney saying we got baby Drew Brees. We found our Steph Curry.
That's right.
I mocked Terradome for that analogy during the offseason because I said Curry's the greatest deep ball shooter of all time. And Brock Purdy had not proven that this offseason, but I can start to see that analogy a little bit more now. I still don't think he's the main reason we win the way Steph Curry is the main reason the Warriors win. But starting to get more and more. It's not as much hyperbole as it used to be. A lot of these things, talking about Joe Montana is not as much hyperbole. All those things are starting to become more and more realistic comparisons. Shout out to the Colts.
I think one of the things too that we all live in is we all live in this world where we have to compare things to the past. We're always comparing, contrast and compare. Well, this guy reminds me of that guy, and that guy reminds me of this guy. How about we just live in the now, and Purdy reminds us of Purdy, and every other great player that's on our team. Like, well, that guy reminds me of Jerry Rice. No, like no one will ever be Jerry Rice. No one will ever be Steve Young or Joe Montana. They're all different. Similarities, yeah, guys calm, cool, collected. But in the end of the day, like, we haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years, people. Let's stop talking about who reminds us from the past. Let's talk about the present. I'm so sick of it. Like, yeah, I love seeing old highlights, but that stuff, like, like the one Rams fan calls us, VHS champions. He's right. We literally haven't won since there was VHS tapes. 1994-95 season, 29 years ago. I was a freshman in high school. I was 145 pounds, soaking wet. Like, I'm ready. I'm so ready. This is the best team we've had since the 94 team, for sure. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
Talent-wise, defense
Yeah.
and offense.
I think so. When we're all healthy, yeah, especially with Feliciano and their O line. I got
That 94 offensive line wasn't that good. They were
no,
bad.
yeah.
That was a bad line.
Steve Young's offensive lines were not good.
No, Steve Young took a beating.
He took a beating. He did.
Steve Young in that year was, let's see, like they were just so small. They were still running an offensive line that they ran in 1989. You know what I mean? The league, like defenders got bigger. Like anytime we played Dallas, they just tossed us around. You know, like Tolbert, Haley, all their defensive tackles, even their linebackers were as big as our offensive linemen. They were small. The Niners were behind in the times with that. Somebody say rim shot in the comments. Come on, guys. Let's keep it PG in here.
Bash also said something about Dre Greenlaw and Draymond Green, but Draymond's taking it to a whole new level. He has been my favorite Warrior for a long time, but even I'm starting to lose patience with his shenanigans now that he's on a indefinite suspension. He's I'd say hurting the team, but they seem to be doing fine without him for now. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but I don't think Dre Greenlaw is on Draymond Green's level. They definitely are both prior offenders, and they get penalties where other people's wouldn't because of their previous track record. But Draymond is kind of in his own category right now in a bad way, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't throw punches at people. That's why I would never play sports professionally, because I'm easily baitable. If somebody puts their hands on me, I'm not going to react in a nice way. And my brother is like, they would take that. They would go after you all the time because they know you can't control your temper. I'm like, you're right. That's why I can't play sports.
Joe Mahoney talking about Trey Lance. Dude, he was not there for OTAs, minicamp, or most of preseason. He was not going to beat out Cooper Rush, who knew all the plays. It's just, you can't really judge him until the start of next season, once he's had a full off season with them. So
I just thought it was clown. It was a freaking clown talk to say that we should retrade and bring him back when Brock was struggling. Like, really? That's what we're doing. The kid can't have a couple of bad games.
I was very careful not to say anything bad because it took me long enough to come around. I wasn't going to just.
Or people would post pictures of him on Twitter and then say, I wasn't trying to cause any this or what. No, yes, you were. What do they call that when somebody puts a picture or as a title for something? They call what? Clickbait. And the person's like, oh, the picture wasn't clickbait. Really? Niners are struggling a little bit in the middle of the year. They lose 3 straight games, and all of a sudden, a picture of Trey Lance just happens to pop up on your timeline on Twitter, but it's not clickbait. Man, stop. Just stop. We're not stupid. It causes controversy. It causes clicks. If that's what you're looking for, which a lot of content creators are, just admit that that's what it's for. That's it. The Trey Lance talk will be talk until he either finds his way into the league and he can play, or like you said, next year comes and he can't beat out anybody in Dallas, and then that might be it. He might just end up being.
That would probably be it, because it's so many years of not playing at that point. 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024.
Aaron and Ray Romano mode. Thank you very much. Somebody called me Kermit the Frog the other night when I was playing on Xbox. And I was like, dude, if you're going to call me anybody, call me Ray Romano. So Bash knows. Thanks, Bash. Appreciate that.
There you go. Small Town Review says if we win a Super Bowl, Trent will retire. That's probably true.
Small Town, I completely agree with you. There is no upside to him playing other than wanting to make more money. Yeah, I prefer. He prefers Ray Romano, not Kermit. Yeah, don't call me Kermit. Although I could do that voice when I was like really young. I could do the Kermit T. Frog, whatever. Yeah.
Strength against strength here by Fernando. Niners are number 1 in red zone offense. Ravens are number 2 in red zone defense. 69% of the trips the Niners score on. That's nice.
Yeah, the Niners. I'm telling you, this is not going to be an easy matchup. I don't. Anybody who's saying that we're going to go and smack them, I think is asinine. But yeah,
We got a Ravens fan in the house, Paul Masick. Welcome, Paul. Welcome to the chat. We can't root for each other's teams to win, but we can root for a good game and no injuries and no bad penalties.
Yep.
So no ref screw ups. That's unlikely, but we can still root for it. Oh, Jesus. Enough. We're all just one big happy family. No, families are dysfunctional, Bash. Laura, why not? I know Giants references. We won 3. She's an A's fan. She said, I think that was below. Sorry.
Ooh, you'd be. I don't go. You wouldn't have to be afraid of me, Laura. I don't hit women, only men. If they piss me off, or women. I'm afraid of women. Like you could turn that one right around. Women scare me.
Bash
They're
says
little and they have bony fingers, and their bony fingers hurt when they hit you. So
it's been a while since I threw any punches, but usually I don't have to. Usually people figure it out. And my thing is really not so much punching as just tackling. Tackling is great. Get them on the ground and then pound them.
Yeah, I always think of like the whole ground and pound MMA style. Like, why throw punches and try to injure somebody? Just tap them out, man.
Yeah,
you can get somebody in some sort of submission hold. Make them tap. That's all you need. Messing with the tracking is foreplay. Oh, on a VHS tape, yeah. Things were better on VHS. They sure were, man. That was a different time in the world, man. Technology is like bad for the world. I just believe that. But I guess we should. I mean, I'm pretty much said what I needed to say. Are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. As far as yeah, I mean that's amazing. The Cowboys lost. The Eagles lost.
My brother, I was gaming the other night. He's like, Aaron, and I was like, huh? Did you see the game? The end? He's like, Seattle came back and won. I was like, yes. Now the Niners essentially don't have to, if they can win, 2 out of the next 3. That made my freaking weekend, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
it was huge. Pained me to root for the Seahawks, but it was means to an end. So
can the Eagles lose 4 straight?
Yes. Tommy DeVito,
the guy. Speaking of Tommy DeVito, Bash, he fired that guy, his agent, for some pizza. He came to a pizza place that was where he grew up, and they were going to have him in there, and they wanted the pizza place to pay him to do some sort of, he was going to come in as like a guest. And his agent asked for more money that the pizza establishment couldn't afford. And so he ended up doing the appearance for free and fired his agent. That's what I've been told. So
crazy. Peter Lee says the ref crew for the Ravens-Niners matchup is none other than Bill Vinovich, the guy who hosed the Niners in Super Bowl 54. Ugh.
Hey, but we're at home though. Oh, we got Payo Time in the chat. Canadian Rams fan. He says, hey, Ted and Aaron in the chat. What's up, my man, Zach?
What's up, Zach? Rams on the rebound, doing well. Maybe making a show of it for Week 18 against us. We'll see.
I hope not. The Rams still scare me.
10-1 in the last 11.
The Rams still scare me. Their coach, that quarterback, those 2 receivers, don't want to deal with that. I'd rather us not have to win that game, and they can do whatever they got to do. I don't want to deal with it. But yeah, that's me. I'm her cuddly bear. Woohoo! Come on, people, pick it up. Everyone's disgusted in the chat. Like there's a groan that just went over. Like, oh God, Aaron.
No, not at all. I watched Goodfellas. That's a great movie, no doubt about it.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah, he looked like a total mobster. He's like someone out of like '60s New York. He's like a shyster. You know what I mean?
There you go. Paul says we should check out Wonderkin. I'll hit him up and see if he wants to come behind enemy lines. I still haven't got anybody yet this week. I'm trying to get 2 or 3 folks. We'll see. This is going insane waiting for this huge game. It's a big one. Although, like we were talking about earlier, though, we may, if we win the next 2, we may already have the number 1 seed locked down. So that'll be interesting. I never thought that would happen this season, the way things were playing out, but sure enough, we're in that position. I think beating the Ravens is a lot easier said than done, though. Even though I'm picking us, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose.
Yeah, I'm same. I feel the same way about that.
Randy says Kid Rock was a cowboy. I want to be a cowboy, baby. Yeah, that was actually a decent song.
I know you guys don't care about tomorrow, but man, time is slow. Yeah, when it comes to football, man, after the Niners, the way they played against the last game, yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that, Randy. I didn't even know. I thought that meant something completely different. Wasn't trying to be offensive. I thought that just meant like a person who's shady. I didn't know that it had a racial reference. I apologize.
I didn't either.
I had no idea.
I see Rams Saints tomorrow night at 5:15. That's what Peo was talking about. Bengals Steelers. I wonder if Kenny Pickett will be back. Bills Chargers. Colts Falcons. Seahawks Titans. Vikings Lions. Vikings Lions could be interesting.
Commanders, you're just messing with me? Oh, come on, man. Browns. I'm sensitive to stuff like that. I don't want to offend anybody in any type of way.
We got Jacksonville against
Seriously,
Tampa.
though, I didn't know if it was. Who's playing tomorrow?
Jacksonville. Oh, tomorrow is Rams and Saints. I was just looking at other games this weekend. Browns Texans could be interesting if CJ Stroud is back. Jaguars Bucks 7-7 against 8-6. Cowboys Dolphins, obviously 2 10-4s. That's probably the game of the week, other than our game.
Our brother's squad, man. He's having a rough time. He thinks that the Dolphins are going to self-destruct in the end this year. That's what he keeps.
Raiders Chiefs. You think the Raiders can beat the Chiefs?
Yes. The way the Chiefs are playing lately, but I don't think it'll happen. I think the real Kermit the Frog, Pat Mahomes, he'll find a way.
Right on.
I'm pretty much. I don't know what else you have.
I've got my usual faithful dogs tomorrow with Big Mike, Browns fan. Big Mike from the Man Cave, 10. And then that's at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. Got Ballin' with Bash and Ted Friday at 3. Probably should do a quick commercial too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So I'm sponsored by the Travelstead Group. That's the TTG logo that you see in the corner. They are a retail and hospitality logistics company. They do transportation and warehousing for brick and mortar. They do FFE, which is fixed furniture and equipment. They do OSE, which is operating supplies and equipment. New store openings, rollouts, relocations, decommissions from the first mile to the final mile and everywhere in between. Travelstead has you covered. Let them know how they can help you via air, ocean, or land. They do closed loop solutions for retail and hospitality. Check them out. It's Nick and Henry are the go-to guys. They have 100% US-based support. These are complex operations, so there's often fine-tuning, if not snafus. It's good to know when you pick up the phone, you won't end up in some call center overseas where they have no clue what you or your business do. Their website, you can click the link in the description for the show, my YouTube About page, my Twitter and X bio, Insta, Facebook. Check out the video. Tom Ted sent you. And thanks in advance. Thank you, Aaron, and thank you to the audience for letting me pay the bills. It's important.
I wish I had a sponsor. I've had a couple in the past, but they were just stuff that nobody, like it was like a third brand betting agency, like that no one's ever heard of. And I think the other one was like some t-shirt or something, and I'm just like, nobody wants this stuff. Like, I need a legit company. You know what I mean?
I hear you 100%.
I need to have something that people would actually use, like, Gold Bar whiskey. No, but that's my boy right there, Raj. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm so happy for him. I got to teach him how to do the multi-stream with Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if he's learned how to do it yet. It's freaking
Raj
easy.
deserves all the best for sure.
If you're listening right now, 49er Minded, so here's what you do. You get your stream ready to go on here. And when you click on the Instagram tab and you put in your stream key, you're going to now go to Instagram and the stream's going to start, and then you're going to wait, and then you click go live. Super easy. Just remember the stream key. Once you put it in, you can't close the tab on Instagram. You have to keep the tab open the whole time. Put the stream key in, and then once it goes live, it'll give you the option to click go live, and it'll go live on Instagram. So, Aaron, I had a sponsor for a month, and it wasn't worth it. Yeah, if it's something that nobody cares about, then it's a pointless sponsor. People are like, you got sponsored? I'm like, yeah. Who is it? And I tell them, I've never heard of it. Neither has anybody else. That's the whole thing. So. Yeah, for 49er Minded, once you go, it's really weird that Instagram is different, but yeah, that's what it does. Yeah, Raj is definitely the man. Raj is a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if they're someone you haven't heard of, that's like our job is to, get the word out for them.
Get the word out.
Yeah, but hey, whatever pays the bills, I say. So, and they've been great to me. So thank you to Travel Stud Group. And what do you got going on the rest of the week, Aaron?
I have Raj tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern time, and then it's me and Bash, I think Saturday at 6 p.m. It'll be on Bash's channel this week. And as far as the me and Niners Coast to Coast guys, because the Niners play Monday, I don't know. They might be doing a show on Tuesday, which I can't do. But they also might be doing a stream. I said Sunday I'm down Sunday evening, so that might be a little bit up in the air. But that's pretty much it. 2 more streams. I think I do enough. Like I don't want to over book myself, because then you end up talking about the same thing 7 straight streams. I don't have any radio background, so it's not like I can talk about baseball and all that other stuff that I don't care about. So, yeah.
Oh,
Bye, Peo.
Bash wants to be sponsored by Hopper, House of Prime Rib. It's a really good restaurant in the city. All you can eat prime rib, basically. Tons of great sides. Super long.
I could get
it takes months to get in, though. It's really hard to get reservations.
If I could be sponsored by anybody, it would probably be, I don't know. I wear a lot of hats. Maybe New Era. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, Visor Company for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. We appreciate it. We may or may not be coming to you next week. We'll see. I definitely won't be streaming on Christmas Day. I'll be traveling and then back on the 4th. So those 2 days are definitely out, but everything in between is up in the air. So I'll do my best to get word out as far in advance as possible when those shows will work out. But thanks, Aaron. I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Go. See everybody.